Ocean Riviera Paradise, an honest review of this all-inclusive resort in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. So what is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I had the pleasure of going to Ocean Riviera Paradise and I thoroughly enjoyed myself, guys. So I'm going to be going over the things that I did, the upgrades that I did, if I felt like it was worth it, the resort itself as a whole. This is a family-friendly, all-inclusive resort in Playa del Carmen, so just keep that in mind. But there is separate sections in the resort for strictly adults, and there is a separate section for kids, which at first, when I had first gotten into the resort, I kind of thought that was not a kind of a weird setup in a sense. I was just like, oh, there's so many different kind of sections to the resort as it kind of just being all one. But after I had upgraded to the adults only side, I thoroughly enjoyed it and realized that that was actually a very smart thing to do. One, on the business side, but also for the guests itself, people that want to go and they're on honeymoon, or, people that want to just have a vacation away from their kids, or retirees, right? Whatever it is, or the families that do want to go with their kids and they want their kids entertained. So I really thought that it was great because the resort really does appeal to everybody. And then there is two separate sections that you can go to, which is the Eden and then the Premier, which is a mix. It's, not just kid friendly, but it's not just the adults only section. So it was actually really nice kind of, how they had everything set up. So I opted to take the upgrade for the El Beso, which is, again, just the adults only side. I was really happy with my decision with that because I also got additional dining options, and I am all about the food when I go to all-inclusives, and really just in general, I'm a very big foodie. So the extra dining options for the El Beso for me was worth it, regardless if it was for the adults only side or not, which I did like as I was traveling by myself. So it was nice to just be able to sit by the pool with other adults, read a book if I wanted to, or just, make some friends and mingle. It was definitely a great choice for myself, but they had a whole section for kids as well, which the kids looked like they were having a blast. And if you are thinking about coming with children, they have a whole kind of, it's not even kind of, it's a whole mini water park on the, on the grounds. So your kids would definitely be entertained. There was also, a teen section and a kid section, a little daycare. If you wanted to bring your kids, make sure you guys make reservations for the daycare. But the teen section was just, like an extra room where there was games and computers and stuff where you can, your teens can go and just kind of hang out if they didn't want to be at the pool or the beach. But I do want to say that is one thing about, a lot of my videos, especially for Playa del Carmen in Mexico, is the beach, guys. So this pool right here is the closest to Eden. The Eden building is the closest to the beach, which I really loved, how there was a pool right on the beach as well, which I felt like this hotel got it right, because how many times, unfortunately, with the seaweed situation in Mexico, do you go down to the beach and then it's really not that great? So even if you walk down to the beach, you still had the option for the pool, and Eden has its own pool as well. So this isn't a pool that's, technically for the Eden section. It's just an additional section. But the couple of days that I was there, as you can see, the water is absolutely beautiful. There was no seaweed at all. Now, please keep in mind this was winter time, but you also need to keep in mind that the seaweed season in Mexico, I did live there for over 2 years, is from April until September. But that does not mean that from September until April, there will not be seaweed. All the resorts do their best to try to keep the beach is clean, but sometimes Mother Nature has other plans, and that's something that, they cannot control. So just keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to the food, this was a place right on the beach that I absolutely loved. And the main buffet also is, for me, the quality of the food at Ocean Riviera Paradise was very good quality. I can't even count really off the top of my head how many resorts I have been to since I started traveling to Mexico when I was 18 years old. And the food quality at some resorts, you could just tell, is really not the best at all. Even the drinks at Ocean Riviera Paradise, even outside of the upgrade that I got at El Beso, which gave me upscale dining options, just even the buffet itself, I felt like all the food quality was just great. All their options were good. And not even just the food quality, but everything was just super tasty, and there was just so much variety. I absolutely loved the food at Ocean Riviera Paradise, and they had a little bit of everything for everyone. So don't worry about if your little ones are kind of picky eaters. You will definitely find something for your little ones at Ocean Riviera Paradise. And I thoroughly enjoyed going for my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner there. So definitely keep that in mind when you are thinking about coming to Ocean Riviera Paradise. Now, the one thing though, with kind of the layout of the resort, I mean, the resort is very large, but I don't want to, I guess you would say kind of surprised, but it's not very wide. It's just like a straight shot. So as soon as you get out from the main lobby and the main bar area, it's basically just a straight shot until you get to the beach, which is helpful for not getting lost. I will say that, because there is so many times that I go to resorts, and the first couple of days at the resorts, I am absolutely lost because I have no idea where I'm going. And that's why a lot of my walkthrough tours now for resorts are so popular, and something that I just love doing for you guys. So that way you can really get a feel of the entire resort layout before you even get there. And I actually have a full walkthrough tour video of the Ocean Riviera Paradise on this channel. So definitely look out for it if you are looking for a full walkthrough of the resort. But it's just something that I started doing kind of for myself, where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take the first couple of hours of my arrival, instead of like running to the room or running to get to the swim up bar. Just give myself a few hours, get a little bit acquainted with the grounds, so that way I can really enjoy myself. And then I started just grabbing content for you guys and videoing it while I was doing it. And it's just super helpful for everybody. But it's really not that confusing, but it is just a straight shot as opposed to it being a little bit wider, which is something that I never kind of experienced at other resorts. But again, it is helpful for kind of not getting lost. And especially if you are with little ones, I feel like it may not be as confusing for them as well. And do not worry about the grounds being safe. I do get this question a lot. There is security at the main entrance, and there is security at the beaches as well. They're not right in front of your face, but they are monitored. Another quick thing that I do want to say that a lot of people ask is, with the all-inclusive, yes, food and drinks and alcoholic drinks are always included in the all-inclusive. But that does not mean that if you are at a specialty restaurant and they have a special for, let's say, lobster tails or a porterhouse, they can charge extra for that. Or if there's like a special bottle of wine, that may be an extra charge. But that does not mean that you are going to be charged if you want to go, to the specialty restaurant that's included. But sometimes in these specialty restaurants, they do have special menus that you may have to pay for. Secondary to that, even though I will get back to the specialty dining here at Ocean Riviera Paradise, so you guys can make sure that you guys get into the ones that you want to get into. The secondary thing to that, another question I get, is about the water sports. Water sports are never included in resorts. Water sports are normally a separate kind of company that does water sports on the beach. So just because the hotel and the resort is all inclusive for food and drinks does not mean that your water sports are going to be included as well. And normal pricing for water sports is anywhere from like $40 to $100 per person USD. But this depends on what you're doing and, where you're going, the time, and things like that. There's also scuba diving that would obviously be more. And then there's specific excursions that would obviously be a different price as well. Excursions, I saw them in the, in the main lobby. There is a section for excursions. So if you guys haven't figured out what you want to do before you get here, that's not a problem at all, guys. You can just, as soon as you get here, you can figure that out. So you don't have to worry too much about the excursions. But for the specialty dining, I do want to say that it wasn't necessarily difficult to get into the specialty dining here at the Ocean Riviera Paradise. But what I always like to do is make my reservations beforehand for any resort. And that is for the simple fact, especially for myself, since I am getting content for you guys and I am doing these reviews for you, I want to make sure that I am obviously going to be giving you the best advice. And I have kind of tried almost everything on the resort to really be able to give honest feedback when I am doing these videos. I did end up reaching out to the resort before I even got there to see if I was able to make reservations for some of the dining. And unfortunately, even with giving myself a few weeks ahead of time, they still did not have some openings. And then also there was some restaurants where they didn't let you make reservation at all. And it was like first come, first serve. One of those restaurants is the barbecue restaurant. They do not take any reservations. It is just basically first come, first serve. You walk in, but I highly recommend it. When I first had gone there, I know a little bit about barbecue. I am from the US and, I've gone down south and even up in New York, especially upstate New York. Everyone does smoking and barbecuing. So I know a little bit. So when I had seen the smoke restaurant, the barbecue restaurant, excuse me, I was a little bit iffy. I'm like, okay, let's see, barbecue in Mexico. But it was actually pleasant. I was pleasantly surprised, even down to the apple pie, even down to the mac and cheese. So definitely, and there was a bunch of stuff for the little ones. Like the little ones would love that if you are, coming with little ones. So that's definitely something to try out. But with that one, they didn't have a reservation. Again, it was just first come, first serve. My favorite, one of my favorite restaurants though, outside of the upgraded restaurants, was the Italian restaurant. The Italian restaurant, every single course that I got at the Italian restaurant, I can still remember every single bite. It was super delicious. So make sure that you make your reservations for the Italian restaurant. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The one restaurant that I couldn't get into, unfortunately, because it was already packed out, was the Hibachi. But obviously that is kind of not surprising with a resort that is kid-friendly. All the kids love the Hibachi section. So just make sure that you kind of reach out for that if that's something that your kiddos love and that's something that you guys want to make sure you're doing. The one thing that I want to leave off on, again, because this is an honest review, is unfortunately the only con about my entire trip was the odor in my room. And a lot of the other people in the El Beso section said that their room also had an odor. I want to say that unfortunately it was almost an odor of mold or mildew or condensation. And it was a very, very strong odor, where to the point that I left my room door open, my balcony door open, just a crack. Now, do not leave your balcony door open all the way because you will get little furry friends, because we are still in the tropics, okay? Little furry friends breaking into your room. But just a crack to kind of just get some fresh air into the room. So that is the only con that I had. But other than that, I had the most amazing time at the Ocean Riviera Paradise. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time.